Okay, great. Today's lesson is expanding what we did yesterday, and you do not have very much homework to do today. It's just going to be a little bit more of kind of the same type of thing. Okay, so yesterday what we did is we learned how to get expressions when we have a pattern rule. Today what we're doing is we're taking it one step further. We're starting with a table to figure out the pattern rule to then ultimately the end goal is to always get these expressions. Okay. So, all right. So the table, setting up the table is really helpful when you're given some type of information. Maybe it's a word problem, which we're going to be practicing today as well. Or maybe it's just like an output pattern rule or something like that. Okay, so always really helpful to go back to what we've been practicing for the past little while, creating these tables. It's going to be really helpful. So here are the steps. First of all, we have to fill in all of the values in the table based upon the information that we're given. So I'm just going to say the steps first, and then we're going to go through the example. So first, fill in all the values into the table. The second thing, and this is what we've been practicing, is find the pattern rule that relates the input to the output, which we've been practicing for, this past week and even last week too. I know that is still the tricky part, but that is, that's the next step. Then we use the rule, figure out our pattern rule, what's in the boxes, what's in the machine, to then create our expression. Okay, so let's go through this example. So if they tell us that we have an output pattern rule of starting at 7 and then add 4 each time, we need to figure out what is happening in the machine. Okay, so let's do this. Alrighty, okay. So output pattern rule is we start at 7 and then we are adding 4. So this is, they already give us this little hint. We're adding 4 over here each time, okay? So we have 11, then we have 15, then we have 19, and then 23, okay? Good, alrighty. Now, next thing is we do the input. Okay, well, we're just going to say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is pretty safe to assume it's going to either start at 0 or start at 1, but this one is going to start at 1. Okay, so now we have to figure out how we are getting from here to here. Well, we think that one of our numbers is going to be 4 because that's based upon our sneaky trick that we learned from figuring out what's the pattern over here. So I'm just going to guess that this is 4. That's always a great place to start. Okay, let's see. So if I did 1 times 4, how would I get to 7? I add 3. Okay, so that works. So it might be plus 3. Okay, let's see if it works again. I'm just going to do these in my head to make it a little bit faster. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11, right on. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that as our pattern rule. Okay, so we've filled in the values. We've found our pattern rule. Now we're going to create the expression. So this is what we did yesterday. Okay, this is the same thing. So we have 4, and then we attach our variable to the first part of the pattern rule. So I'm going to put this as I because I have input. If you want to call it N, you can, or smiley face, that's fine too. And then plus 3. Okay, ta-da, that is my expression. Okay, so there you go. We've done all of the steps. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. I guess the key thing is just figuring out, well, what is going to go in the, how are we going to create this table? And they will give you hints like this one. The output pattern rule, start at 7, add 4 each time, and then you just plunk in a normal set of numbers. Here, usually starting with 1. Okay, so I hope that we're okay with that. Now, ta-da, this is where it's gonna get a little bit more challenging. So, word problems. We're always leading up to word problems, right? We always learn the basics and then we get into where it actually where we see this in real life. So today we're doing, I used this example based upon the cool cookies that Jordan had posted the picture of on our wall yesterday of the mermaid cookies. I hope you can find that again, Jordan. Those look so cool. Okay, so we're going to pretend that Jordan is selling cookies wrapped in a gift box. The gift box, maybe she bought this at Daiso or something, it costs 5 dirhams. And then each cookie costs 2 dirhams. Maybe it costs more than that. I don't know. Maybe probably more expensive to make than that with all the ingredients Jordan used. We're going to say for this example, they cost 2 dirhams. We want to know how much she will charge for 3 cookies. Okay, so, alrighty. First, we're going to do the same thing. Create a table with appropriate headings. This was part of the homework from yesterday. Fill in the table with information from the story problem. So that's similar to what we just did in our last step. Then, same thing, we have to find the pattern rule, okay? Normal stuff once we have our values in our table. Then, who can guess the next step? It is 2. So here were word problems, tables, pattern rule, and then we're going to the expression, okay? So, alrighty, now, this is where we have to think about what is going on in this example. Okay, so she is selling cookies. Okay, so she's selling cookies and then she's going to get an income. So cookies could go here. Okay, hopefully you're able to also write this in. My pen is so slow. There we go, some cursive. And then this is the amount. I'm just going to put this over here. The amount that she charges. Okay, amount that she charges. All right, so if Jordan only sells 1 cookie, how much would she charge? Well, she has to charge for this box because this box is always going to be there, okay? Then she also has to charge for the fact that she has 1 cookie, okay? So this is going to be $7. If she has 2 cookies, then we know what's going on over here. We're increasing the value. We're not going to do any discounts. She's going to charge exactly the right amount. So here we're increasing by 2. So this would be 9. And then if she had 3 cookies, we're going to increase again by 2. So we'll get 11. Okay, we could keep going. We could keep going for 4. There would be 13, right? Okay, so we'll leave this last one blank. If you want to fill it in for 5 being 15, then you could. Okay. So now we have to think about how we get from the input to the output, okay? So we know that 2 is going to be one of our numbers, so I'm just going to start over here. A really solid place to begin is thinking this is going to be 2. Let's see, okay? So 1 times 2, I'm going to hold these numbers in my mind, is 2. And then I'm adding on, how do I get from 2 to 7? I'm adding on 5. So I think it might be times 2 and then add 5. Let's see. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. Yep. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 5 is 11. All right, there we go. Hopefully we're getting more in the hang of figuring this out. Okay, so now we have to do the pattern rule. Okay, so, or the expression, sorry. So it should be 2, and then I'm going to say, what do you think would be a good variable to use for this? I can hear you. Maybe C for cookies. 2 times the number of cookies that she gives plus, this is our constant, which is 5. This is never going to change. This is how much each of the gift boxes costs. Okay, hopefully you see a little bit of a connection to that. This is what's always the same. And then this is what's going to change depending upon the input. Okay, there you go. So it could also be 2 times C, right? That's the same thing, 2 times C plus 5. Or we could have the other one that we would also write, which would also be correct, C times 2 plus 5, right? Those are all the exact same thing. We've written the expression in different ways, okay? So we wouldn't even need to have this here, just be normally like a 2C, and then plus 5, right? I just showed the dot. The dot's also correct. The dot just means multiply. Okay, so that is it for our lesson today. Now our homework is on seesaw, which is doing this dog example. Okay, so let me just find where did I put this dog example. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is on Seesaw, okay? So what you're going to do, this is very similar to before, okay? You were filling in the yellow, and then your partner, once I switch it, your partner is going to solve in the blue, and I want the partner to write who they are, write in the name, okay? So, alrighty, so created by Zaha, for example, okay? You have just been hired as a dog walker by the Falcon Hospital. You get paid 100 dirhams per day, woof, good deal, and an extra 20 dirhams for each dog that you walk. On Friday, you walked 3 dogs. How much did you earn on Friday? Okay, so this is our job for today. First of all, set up the table. I want these to be appropriate headings, not input, output. It needs to be appropriate based upon what's happening in the story problem. Then you need to set up what's going to go here and then what would go over here, okay? Then once you have the table, so that's what we practice, right? Our first thing that we have to do is turn the word problem into a table, then into a pattern rule, and then into the expression. So, okay, we put this into a table, then you have to write the expression that relates the dogs you walked in a day to how much you will earn. Okay, so what's the expression? Then, okay, partner, you have to create a question of your own with a different number of dogs being walked. Okay, so it could be Q, could be, for example, how much will you earn if you walk 5 dogs? Okay, let's keep the numbers. I'm going to say keep the numbers, less than, let's go for 100. Okay, but if you want to do 100, then sure, go for it. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, okay, that's it. So once you have this submitted, then tomorrow we're going to switch with a partner. Okay, so that's your only homework for today. Okay, good work.